Any asset, if you sell on profit, that is called as capital gain. Whatever the inherited property, if I sell it to somebody, then I am supposed to pay tax. If any business, their business itself selling that particular product, that product will not become capital. Under long term, you have two categories like except sale of equity shares. Sale of equity shares. Clear? A warm welcome to one and all. This is your Adasa here, lecturing Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence. And now we are in the session 1, unit 1 of your income tax. And now we are in the 4th SEM BCom syllabus. We are discussing your 4th SEM BCom syllabus. We have done in your introduction class, and today we are starting with your unit 1. And we'll go from the basic, we'll not go advanced level, we'll go step by step and we'll learn income tax as best as possible. Now, if you are planning for centum in income tax, follow each and every class. It will be helpful as well as it will help you to score centum in your examination. Now, hardly it may get 35 to 40 session to complete your income tax 2. So that is more than sufficient to complete your syllabus, as well as we will not skip even a single topic in your income tax. As per your syllabus, we will complete a small definitions also. Now, the first topic we are going to discuss, that is capital gain. So the agenda is very simple, meaning along with concept. What is capital gain? Before we get into the topic, we will understand why we have to learn capital gain. Now, you know how many heads are there in your income tax? We are all talking about direct tax. For the 4th SEM BCom, we don't have any indirect tax. We are only talking about direct tax. Now, you have total 5 heads in the income tax. I already explained you in the previous semester. Now, which are those? Like income from salary, income from house property, income from business or profession, income from capital gain, and income from other source. Now, in your previous semester, your 3rd semester, we have done with your salary. You will not get even a single problem from salary. Now, we already done with your income from house property in the previous semester itself. Now, business or profession you have, but not like your previous SEM. We have assessment of individual, assessment of company, assessment of partnership firm. All those you have. While doing that, I'll explain you. Now we are talking about capital gain. Other source also we will come after this topic. Now, what is capital gain? Gain, you know that there is an income. What is capital? Capital in the sense, any assets if you buy or sell. Any assets if you buy or sell. For example, you bought one mobile for 10,000 and you are selling this mobile for 12,000. It is a profit or loss. We don't call it as profit or loss. We call it as gain because it is not your business. If you are running a mobile shop, you are selling mobile, the 10,000 worth mobile you are selling for 12,000. We don't consider that as capital gain because your business is selling mobile. If your business itself selling mobile, we call it as business or profession. But your business is not selling mobile. You're a teacher, you're a lawyer, you're a doctor, you're selling your own mobile. 10,000 worth mobile you're selling for 12,000. Whatever 2,000 you got, that we call it as capital gain. I'll give you a simple example. Your shares. You bought one share of Infosys. Now, you bought one share of Infosys, our Reliance will go. Your Reliance, you bought one share. Now, right now, the price is around 2,100 something per share. You bought for 2,100 and you are selling that particular share for 2,300. What is the profit? 200. This we call it as capital gain. Hope you're clear. Yes, any asset if you sell on profit, that is called as capital gain. For example, the same Reliance share 2100. So your bad luck, suddenly the market goes down. 2100 share has become 1900. There is a loss of 200. 200. Now, what is this? Whether it is a capital gain? Yes. We don't call it as gain. We call it as capital loss. Hope you are clear. This is what? Capital loss. Now, so these are the concept about your capital gain. Now you understood what is capital gain. Any asset, if you sell on profit or loss, whatever income we get, if it is excess, that will be gain. If it is less or deficit, we call it as capital loss. It is all depends on only assets, not on any raw materials, not on any your if you are selling a bookshop, if you are running a bookshop, whatever the books buy and sell, that will become business, that will not become capital gain. Hope you are clear. Good. Now we'll go one by one. What is capital gain? Now, so you will not get any theory questions on what is capital gain and all. You will not get. You will get complete 15-mark problems on capital gain. Now, simply put, any profit or gain that arises from the sale of capital asset is a capital gain. Now, just concentrate on capital asset. I'll tell you what is capital asset. Clear? Now, for this definition, remember it is only capital asset. In the next slide, I'll tell you what is capital asset. Which are the things we cannot call it as capital asset. Whether my car, can I call it as capital asset? My mobile, can I call it as capital asset? Everything I'll explain you in the next slide. Now, any profit or gain that arises from the sale of capital asset is a capital gain. Hope you are clear. You bought some asset, you are keeping with you only, then we don't call it as capital gain or capital loss. Unless and until you sell that asset, we cannot call it as capital gain or capital loss. Mainly the capital gain comes for your house. You bought one site or house in 2000 for 10 lakh. Now you are selling that house or site for 50 lakh. That 40 lakh remaining difference, we call it as capital gain. Hope you are clear. Yes. You are the real estate owner. You are the real estate owner. Your business itself, buying and selling of land. Then it is not capital asset. Then it will be called as business or profession. Hope you have got difference of business as well as capital gain. Yes. Now, the gain or profit comes under the category income, and hence you will need to pay tax for that amount in the year which the transfer of the capital asset take place. For example, you bought one asset on 2000. When did you purchase? On 2000. When did you sell? You sold on 2021. When you are supposed to pay tax? You bought on 2000, you are selling in 2021. You are supposed to pay tax 2021-22. In this financial year, you are supposed to pay your tax. Hope you are clear. So, these are the basic information while doing capital gain. Now, this is called capital gain tax, which can be short term and long term. This I'll explain you later. What is short term? What is long term? Normally it comes for your shares. If you are trading, you will get an idea what is short term, long term. Just in the shares, normally I'll give you general idea. I don't go in detail because we have a separate session for short term and long term. Now, just remember, you have a house. You purchased house in 2000 and you're selling in when? 2021. Almost how many years? You holded that house for 21 years. Up to 21 years, you were the owner of that particular house. This we call it as long term because almost 21 years you have holded that house. Whereas the house was in your name. The same thing you bought on 2020 and you sold on 2021. How many years it was with you? It may be less than 1 year or most probably maximum 1 year. Max to max 1 year with you. This we call it as short term. Hope you are clear. Yes, short term means very less period. Long term means it will be more than 3 years. I'll tell you what is that 3 years, 36 months, 24 months, 12 months. All the concept in detail will go in the next slide or next session. Now, so hope you understood the basic concept. Then, capital gain are not applicable to an inherited property as there is no sale, only transfer of ownership. What is this? Please write down there itself. You will understand better. Even though they will not ask you theory, while doing problem, these are the concept must. The difference between your accountancy and your tax, I'll tell you. Accountancy, you read theory only for your 5 mark in your question paper. But taxation, if you read theory not only for 5 mark, while doing problem, theory is must in income tax. Unless and until you learn the theory concept, you cannot go for any problem. Hope you are clear. That's why I'm going step by step. Slowly I'm going. Now, capital gain are not applicable to an inherited property as there is no sale, only transfer of ownership. What is capital gain? I bought house on 2000. I'm selling on 2021. Whatever profit I got, that is capital gain. Hope you are clear. Yes. Now, but what about in this case, inherited property? Inherited property means, for example, your grandfather have 100 by 100 site. 100 by 100 site in some place. Now, so your grandfather cannot sell that property to you because he is your grandfather. He can transfer to you with love. Clear? Now, so he has done a will that this property should goes to Mr. X. X in the sense his grandchild. Now, whatever property transferred from your grandfather to you, we don't call it as capital gain. We don't call it as sale. Hope you are clear. So, somebody sold you, that is capital gain. Or somebody you sold, that is capital gain. If you got property from your dad, from your grandfather, from your grandmother, great grandfather, all this we call it as just transfer, not sale. Hope you are clear. Yes, no capital gain if there is a family transfers. Now, the income tax has specifically exempted asset received as gift by way of inheritance. So, your grandfather gifted you, there is no tax. Your dad gifted you, no tax. Your mom gifted you, no tax. For gift, I'll give you detailed explanation. Right now, understand, any gift collected from your parents, grandparents or your relatives will be called as gift. So, that is not called as sale or capital asset. Now, if the person who inherited the asset decide to sell, a capital gain tax will be applicable. For example, I'll give you an example now. Your grandfather gave you one property. Your grandfather gave you one property. Clear? Later, you sold that property. Later, you sold that property, some XYZ. Then, capital gain will come. Hope you are clear. You can take example of mine only now. From my grandparent, I got one house for 10 lakh. I got one house for 10 lakh. I have not paid, freely he has gifted me. Now, whatever 10 lakh, it is not my investment, it is my grandfather investment. Hope you are clear. It is my grandfather investment. Now, after 10 years, I am selling this property for 50 lakh. I am selling this property for 50 lakh. Whatever the difference is there, I am supposed to pay tax on that. I'll tell you why we should take 10 lakh, because we got it for free. Everything I'll explain you while doing the problem. Hope you are clear. Whatever the inherited property, if I sell it to somebody, then I am supposed to pay tax. While collecting from my grandparent, there is no tax for him, there is no tax for me. Hope you are clear? Good. So these are the basic information about capital gain. Next, definitions of capital asset. As I told you, capital asset means what? Now you will understand. Now, any land, we call it as capital asset. Building, capital asset, like house, office, any apartment, all comes under capital asset. House property, yes, capital asset. Vehicles, like your two-wheeler, four-wheeler, all comes under capital asset. Patents, that also comes under, even though it is an intangible asset, comes under capital asset. Trademark, leasehold rights, machinery, jewelry, even though jewelry also comes under capital asset. Clear? Like you bought jewelry of 10 grams for 40,000. After 5 years, you are selling that jewelry for 50,000. The 10,000 difference, we call it as capital asset or capital gain. These are the few examples for capital asset. This is very important for 5-mark question. They will ask you what is capital asset. Then you are supposed to write these are the capital asset. Hope you are clear? Good. This includes having right in or relation to an Indian company. It also includes rights of management. These are not required actually. This is important. Hope you are clear. What is capital asset? You understood. Now, defining capital asset, we'll go in detail now. So you understood what is capital asset, which are not considered as capital asset. Hope you are clear. Now we are discussing do not come under. You know what is capital asset. Can you tell me what are the capital asset? It is in the previous slide. Just tell me what are the capital asset. Like jewelry, yes. Land, yes. Building, yes. Patent, yes. Goodwill, yes. Copyrights, yes. Vehicle, yes. Machinery, yes. These are called as capital asset. Which are not called as capital asset. For that, you have the answer. This is also important for 5 marks. If they ask you what is capital asset, you have to write all the example and you have to mention that following are not considered as capital asset. Now, which are those? Like any stock or consumables of raw material held for the purpose of business. I gave you an example like you are running a mobile shop. All the mobiles in your shop is not capital asset. Why? Because your business itself selling mobile. Clear? Yes. Second one, you have a stationery shop. Whatever the books, the game items or anything is there in your shop, all are considered as not raw material. Your selling goods are your inventory. So we don't call it as capital gain. Now, similarly, we'll go with any factory. In the factory, they have few raw materials. All the raw materials we consider business purpose. We don't consider for capital gain. Hope you understood. Yes. If any business, their business itself selling that particular product, that product will not become capital. I'll give you best example now. See, I have a car, some Honda company vehicle. If I sell that car, whatever the difference I'll get, for me, there is a capital gain. If the same thing for the Honda showroom or Hyundai showroom, will go for Hyundai or Honda. For that particular showroom, if they sell any car, that is not capital asset. That is what? For them, it is a inventory. For them, it is a stock. For them, it is business purpose. Hope you are clear. Yes. If Honda showroom sell vehicle, for them, it is not capital gain. If I sell vehicle, for me, it is capital gain. Yes. Now, personal goods such as clothes, furniture, all are personal use. So, at your home, you have a personal furniture, you have a personal, your clothes and all. If you sell that, it will not become capital asset. Now, agricultural land in rural India. Now, if you are in village and you have a land, if you sell that land, that will not become your capital asset. Now, 6.5% gold bonds, 7% gold bonds or national defense gold bonds issued by the central. See, there is a exceptions. These are not called as your capital asset. Now, special bearer bonds also comes under not capital asset. Now, gold deposit bond issued under gold deposit scheme also not come under capital asset. Hope you are clear which are not capital asset. These are the things you have to remember. Any stock or consumable raw materials. And second one, any clothes or furniture for personal use. Or agricultural land, bond 6.5%, 7%, any bonds issued by central government, and special bearer bonds and gold deposit bonds. Hope you are clear. Good. So once we done with, you understood what is capital gain. Yes. You understood what is capital asset. Yes. You understood which are not considered as capital asset. Yes. Now we discuss types of capital asset. It is all about long term, short term. Now, long term capital gain tax, and short term capital gain and short term capital gain tax. Why it is written twice, I'll tell you. Now, under long term, you have two categories like except sale of equity shares. Sale of equity shares. Clear? We have a separate calculation for shares. We have separate calculation for other than shares. Whatever the period of holding like 24 months, 36 months, we have bifurcations. That I'll explain you later. Now, long-term capital gain except equity share. Long-term capital gain in case of equity share. What is the tax percentage? Other than equity shares, it is 20%. For shares, it will be 10%. Hope you are clear. What is the tax rate? So no need to learn tax rate. While doing problem, you will only understand what is the tax rate. Now, long-term capital gain, it is 20%. No need to remember anything. And long-term capital gain other than equity shares, it will be 20. For equity shares, it will be 10%. Now, we'll go for short-term. Now, short-term capital gain when security transaction tax is not applicable. If there is no additional tax of security transaction, then it will be the short-term capital gain is added to your income tax return and the taxpayer is taxed according to his income. There is no percentage if there is no security. When security transaction tax is not applicable, then whatever your tax slab is there, up to 2.5 lakh, 2.5 to 5 lakh, whatever the slab is there will go according to that. Remember your income tax slab. Income tax slab. Don't worry much about this slide because this is not required for your examination. This is only general topic. Just remember, if it is a long term with equity shares, it will be 10%. Long term without equity shares, it is 20%. If it is a short term without security transaction tax, as per your income tax slab, your short term with security transaction tax, it will be 15% tax. Hope you are clear. Good. Next, how to calculate short-term capital gain. So I'll give you a brief idea. In the next session, we'll work out one basic problem itself. Now, how do you calculate your short-term capital gain? In this, start with the full value of consideration. Deduct the following. Whatever the selling price, for example, you bought a land for 10 lakh, you are selling at 50 lakh. You bought land at what value? 10 lakh. And you are selling at what price? 50 lakh. Remember, after buying the land, you spent another 10 lakh for compound, a small house you constructed. Whatever expenditure you made, you are supposed to add. You bought land for what price? 10 lakh. and how much you spent on that, another 10 lakhs. So how much you spent total? 20 lakh you spent. And at what price you are selling now? 50 lakh you are selling. Remember this example. Now come back to format. How to calculate short-term capital gain? In this, start with full value of consideration. You are selling at what price? 50 lakh. As per this example, you are selling at 50 lakh. Then deduct the following. Which are those? Like expenditure incurred. So how much you spent after buying? 10 lakh you spent. Cost of acquisition. At what price you purchased? 10 lakh. Cost of improvement. Yes, this is only cost of improvement. This I'll change. Yes. Now, you bought at 10 lakh and you spent around 10 lakh for improvements. Now, expenditure incurred. What is the expenditure? See, you are very new to that place. You cannot sell your house. What you will do? You will go with the broker, agent. For agent, you are supposed to pay something to sell your house. How much you paid to the agent? Assume that you paid 2 lakh to the agent. These are called as expenditure incurred wholly and exclusively in connection. That is a expenditure. Cost of acquisition, the price you bought. The cost of improvement, the additional expenditure you made, like you constructed a compound, for water you constructed a tank, all those comes under your additional expenditure. Hope you are clear? Yes. Now, 50 lakh is your selling price. From selling price, you minus 22 lakh. So it will be how much? 28 lakh. These are your capital gain. Hope you are clear. How to calculate your short-term capital gain? Very simple. Take your selling price minus the expenditure you met and the cost of acquisition and cost of improvement. Hope you are clear. Yes, this is all about your short-term. Now, how to calculate long-term capital gain? Now, long-term I'll come later while doing problem, but I'll give you a brief idea. Similarly, your sale consideration 50 lakh, expenditure you paid 2 lakh to the agent, indexation cost of acquisition 10 lakh, indexation cost of improvement 10 lakh, and your answer is 28 lakh. Now, in this I have not explained you what is indexed. What is indexed? This I'll explain you in the next session with examples so that you will understand better. Just remember, same formula for your short term, same format for your long term. Only the word changes, that is index. This word will come in the long term. The index word will not come under short term. Clear? Yes. And this 54, 54EC, 54F, 54B, I'll explain you clearly in a separate slide what are these sections and why do we use all these. I'll explain you. Now, so I'll go back to all these slides. You can take screenshot. So what is capital gain? Define capital asset. Define capital asset. Types of capital asset. How to calculate short-term capital gain. How to calculate long-term capital gain. So this is all about your today's session. Hope you understood what is capital gain and the basic knowledge about what are the capital asset, what are not considered as capital asset, and the format of short-term as well as long-term capital asset. So theory might be a little boring, but it is very useful while doing your problem. Please concentrate while doing theory. Thank you.